Hey honey, where you been? Was you out there running around? Sister Sarah and baby May, so you out there all the time.
Can you guys both take a turn and tell me how you got into music first time and how? Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, my introduction into music, man. Well, music's always been in my household from the time I was a child. But when I was in junior high school, I used to breakdance, and of course, breakdance with breakdancing, we would breakdance to music. And when I was in sixth grade, I went to a friend's house, and he had a turntable set up there. And it was pretty much, when I saw the turntables, it was love at first sight. I stopped breakdancing immediately, and I knew at that point, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to deal with the music part of it.
You know, my story is similar to that. I didn't even know I could sing until later on. But I also started as a dancer. I wasn't breakdancing. I was just kind of, pop locking and freestyling, because in L.A. or on the West Coast, the dance scene was different. But yeah, started out as a dancer. Somebody heard me sing a couple notes, and I was like, man, I'm not singing. That's crazy. And, first taste of it, never let it go. Still dance a little bit, but not as much as I used to. And that's pretty much it, Like I said, the dancing got me interested, or listening to the music first, and then I started studying music from a musician or writer or singer standpoint.
And what about the business side of it? How did you get into that side?
There were I did a few TV shows, and from doing those shows, I was introduced to people who were already involved in the business. And once that happened, I realized, oh, I can make money at this. Oh, this is some cool. Okay, I'll take that. But that wasn't until later on I was really able to sing. At first, I was just kind of fighting my way out of a paper bag. Couldn't hold a note that good. Didn't know what I was doing. But once I got got a hold to like different techniques, I'm saying to myself, oh, okay, this is how this works.
And what about you, Eric?
The business side of it, man, pretty much. I've been DJing a lot. So, from the time I was a kid, I've been DJing a lot. And so, I kind of worked my way up through the DJ scene. And, really it was just friends of friends, man. Just getting to know people. And, I say my biggest break came, I used to work at a call center in Berkeley, California. And one of the people I worked with was Gift of Gab, and at the time, I didn't even know, I didn't know who. I had never really heard of Blackalicious, and he used to tell me about his group, and I would say, yeah, and I had heard some of the music, and I was like, wow, man, this is good, and but at the time, I really had no idea of how big they were, and so my real big break came when I got to DJ for I was the tour DJ for Blackalicious for like 4 years, and that's actually how I met Myron also.
Can you tell me a bit about how you got or how you met in Blackalicious when you were working with them?
Well, I think when I came on and I started working with Blackalicious, Myron, you had just started working with them also just a little bit before I came in, right?
Yeah, around the same time.
Okay.
But I was on as a singer.
Right.
And then Eric was the DJ, production and stuff like that.
Maybe we could move on to soul music then. So can you tell me a bit about your introduction to soul in particular, and kind of the artists that are most close to your heart and influence your work at the moment?
Well, like Eric mentioned, you know, I also grew up listening to records that my parents used to play. And they used to play like Myron E, Donny Hathaway, James Brown. The Motown sound is, you know, just go across the board with all of the Motown artists. Didn't really know that I was musically inclined when I was listening to the stuff, just liked the way it sounded. But when you start going into that memory bank, you start bringing up, oh, wait a minute, I remember this when I was a kid. Really liked James Brown, the JBs, you know, before it was James Brown. Loved that funk soul. Kind of got away from it because hip hop and neo soul started to take precedence or to create a presence. But this old soul never went away. Sometimes we go back to, you know, listening to those old records. Eric, you know, he's a DJ, and I just love listening to music, period. So I'll go to the iPod, and then I'll go to the, you know, the computer, then I'll go to vinyl, and just kind of mesh it all together. And it's kind of the reason why we have the sound that we have, because we're taking a different approach vocally and lyrically, but the music is still old soul, you know, with the soul investigators doing their thing, the way they do it.
What about you, Eric?
And well, you know, soul music, man, it's like Myron said, you know, I from a child, I can always remember, you know, soul music being played in my home. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until probably junior high that I realized there was other types of music outside of soul, because I grew up in a black household in a predominantly black neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey. So, you know, it was a long time before I ever realized that there was other types of music outside of soul, just because it was so prominent in my life. And of course, when I started DJing, and, you know, at that time I was digging for old records, because at that, you know, I realized that, you know, a lot of DJs were making beats from all of the old records. So at that point, I started to delve a lot deeper into you know, soul music, and it's just something that's always been a part of my life, man. I can't remember a time that it hasn't been in my life.